Adam wiped the sweat from his brow as he examined the twisted wreckage of starship hulls scattered across the auction yard. The Galactic Salvage Consortium's monthly steel auction drew scavengers from across 3 systems, all hunting for valuable alloys and rare metals. As a human freelancer, Adam knew he was considered bottom tier by most species present, just another primitive biped scraping for scraps. The auctioneer, a multi-armed Catherian, began the bidding on Lot 47, a massive section of what appeared to be a draconian warship. Adam's breath caught as he recognized the distinctive biometallic hull plating. The draconians were an ancient species, their ships grown rather than built, fusing organic materials with exotic metals in ways other races couldn't replicate. As the bidding commenced, Adam noticed something that made his engineering-trained eyes widen. Deep within the twisted metal, barely visible through a crack in the hull, he glimpsed movement. Not the scurrying of scavenger creatures, but something larger, something deliberate. The lot was going cheap. Most bidders saw only scrap metal. Adam raised his hand. 5,000 credits, he called out, his voice steady despite his racing heart. A few heads turned. The Catherian auctioneer's eye stalk swiveled toward him with mild interest. The bidding was light, and Adam won the lot for 8,000 credits, nearly his entire savings. As the other bidders moved on to flashier prizes, Adam approached his purchase. He pulled out his plasma cutter, but instead of attacking the valuable outer plating, he focused on the crack he'd spotted earlier. Carefully, methodically, he widened the opening. A low rumble emanated from within, not mechanical but organic, threatening. "Easy there," Adam murmured, setting down his tools and raising his hands. "I'm not here to hurt you." 2 massive golden eyes appeared in the darkness, followed by an elegant serpentine head covered in scales that shifted color like oil on water. A draconian female, but unlike any he'd seen in the databases, her scales bore the deep purples and golds of nobility, and her eyes held an intelligence that made Adam's skin prickle. Behind her, he caught glimpses of smaller forms, younglings. "By the void," Adam whispered, "you're alive." The dragon, for that's what she was despite the clinical term draconian used by galactic taxonomy, studied him with those ancient eyes. When she spoke, her voice resonated like distant thunder. "Human, why do you not flee?" "Because you're trapped," Adam replied simply. "And you have children with you." Something shifted in her expression. "I am Kinza of the Sunward Reaches, last of the Flameheart Clutch. These are my young." Her voice carried grief deeper than oceans. "Our ship was destroyed by raiders. We were to be sold as exotic pets." Adam felt rage kindle in his chest. The auction house had listed this as derelict salvage, but they'd known. Of course they'd known. "Not anymore," he said, returning to his plasma cutter. "Let's get you out of there." For the next 6 hours, Adam worked to free them. Other humans might have calculated the profit in selling a living dragon and her young. The exotic pet trade paid astronomical sums. But Adam had seen enough cruelty in his years as a salvager. He'd found slaveholds disguised as cargo bays. Witnessed the aftermath of species trafficking. Not today. When the opening was finally large enough, Kinza emerged with fluid grace, her full size making Adam crane his neck upward. She stood nearly 12 feet tall, her wingspan easily twice that. 3 younglings followed, each no larger than a horse but moving with the same predatory elegance. "You could have sold us," Kinza observed, her head tilting as she studied him. "Your species is known for pragmatism. Some of us, maybe, but I didn't buy you to sell you." Adam shouldered his equipment pack. "Question is, where do you want to go? The draconian reaches are 3 systems away, but I've got a ship." Kinza was quiet for a long moment, her scales shifting through patterns Adam was beginning to recognize as emotional responses. When she spoke again, her voice held wonder. "In 3,000 years of life, I have encountered perhaps a dozen beings who acted without expectation of reward. Most were of my own kind." She lowered her great head until they were eye to eye. "You puzzle me, human Adam." "Yeah, well, humans are good at that." The dragon's equivalent of laughter was like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Indeed, tell me, Adam of the humans, what do you know of wing bonds?" Adam frowned. "Not much. Some kind of draconian honor thing?" "More than honor. When one saves a dragon's life, truly saves it with no thought of gain, a bond is formed. Ancient magical by your people's standards, though we call it quantum genetic resonance." Her scales shimmered. You have saved not just my life, but my children's futures. The bond calls. What does that mean exactly? Kinza spread one magnificent wing, and Adam gasped as he saw complex patterns of light dancing across the membrane, like circuit boards made of starlight. It means if you accept, we fly together. My knowledge, my abilities become available to you. Your courage, your compassion, they strengthen me. She paused. It means you become part of our clutch and we become part of your pack. Adam looked at the three younglings, who watched him with the same intelligent golden eyes as their mother. He thought of his small, battered salvage ship waiting in the spaceport. He thought of the loneliness of space, the constant struggle to survive on the margins of galactic society. He thought of the rage in Kinza's voice when she'd spoken of being sold as pets. What about them? He asked, nodding toward the young ones. They choose their own wing bonds when they come of age. But until then? Kinza's scales rippled with what might have been amusement. They will need a pride father. Adam extended his hand toward the great dragon. Then I accept. All of it. When Kinza touched his palm with the tip of her wing claw, Adam felt something fundamental shift in his being. Light raced along his veins, and suddenly he could sense things he'd never imagined. The quantum frequencies of the metals around them, the life patterns of every being in the auction yard, the vast network of energy that connected all living things. Welcome to the clutch, Adam Wingbound, Kinza said, and her voice now resonated not just in his ears but in his very soul. As they walked toward his ship together, dragon and human, ancient nobility and young salvager, other species in the yard stepped aside with expressions ranging from awe to terror. None had ever seen a wing bond between human and dragon. Adam smiled. Let them stare. He had a family now, and they had wings enough to carry them all to the stars.